It's time for Stan the Fan, Chief Grandpa Man, and the Friday Baseball Show. Griffin Bass helps bring more class to the Friday Baseball Show. They'll talk fast games, Dan Charles is his name on the Friday Baseball Show. He's been in the owner's suite, he's been doing sports talk since 81. He's only lived in Baltimore for 45 years, but we'll give him a break on that hunt. They'll acknowledge football, don't expect calls, it's the Friday Baseball Show. It's okay to say Glenn's back on Monday, but this is the Friday Baseball Show. The Friday Baseball Show. The Friday Baseball Show.
And it is time for the Friday Baseball Show, our last edition of the month of May. Today is the 29th of May. I'm Stan the Fan. It is the Friday Baseball Show. Along with me is Griffin Bass, and there's a new face, but he's really an old face to a lot of folks driving around Baltimore. He's the king of the personal injury attorney billboards. That's my friend Byron Warnken of Warnken Law. How are you, Byron?
Doing awesome. It's great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for your support of the show and all the things that we're doing covering baseball this season. It's been a lot of fun. Byron's firm also powers my power rankings each week, and we've do you like that caricature of you and me together on the power rankings?
I do. I love it. I think that my face is a little full, but other than that, I love it. I think it looks good.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we get into baseball, well, let me tell you who we've got on the show today, Byron and our listeners. Got former Oriole catcher and Oriole Hall of Famer Rick Dempsey is going to join us. We're going to talk to him about his life after baseball, which still includes quite a bit of baseball. He will also be appearing at the Costas Inn, one of his favorite places on North Point Boulevard, 4100 North Point Boulevard. That is this coming Wednesday, June the 3rd. He will be at the Costas Inn, I think, from about 6 to 8. We'll find out the particulars there. Also joining us is the Orioles Organizational Player of the Month in the minor leagues, Victor Figueroa. We talked to Victor about 9 months ago, Griff.
Exciting young player.
Victor Figueroa. We'll find out if he has eaten Maryland steam crabs now. He's from Florida, from Port Richey. He was acquired along with 5 other prospects, including Boston Bateman and Butterworth. I forget, Brian Butterworth.
Yeah, look it up. Hold on.
All right. But anyway, Victor Figueroa is the Orioles Organizational Player of the Month. He's 22 years of age, 6'5". Get a load of this, Byron. His slash line this season, 284, 368, 574 OPS, and a slugging percentage of 574. Yeah. And his OPS is 943, 11 homers, 35 RBIs.
Wow.
Sounds like a future player on your fantasy team.
Yeah,
the Warnken boys.
He does. Actually, he sounds better than my fantasy team. Maybe your fantasy team.
Stan's fantasy team's good this year. Really?
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm good, but I'm not real great. I've got so many injuries. It's like injuries follow me like a magnet. It's unbelievable.
It's nothing compared to my team, Stan. I am in the absolute basement this year. Normally, I'm pretty good on draft day, and then I trail off. This year,
yeah,
I think
you usually have about a 3-week, but there was a transition this year with the Warnken boys.
That's right.
We'll talk about that, but those are the guests on the program. Before we start talking about the Orioles, tell us a little bit about Warnken Law and why somebody should consider calling 443 results or looking at warnkenlaw.com, WARNKEN.com.
The main reason, I think the number one reason, is because I am by far the least competent person at that law firm. This law firm is made up of incredibly bright, dedicated, hardworking people. Everybody does what they're supposed to do. The workers' comp folks do the workers' comp. The pre-suit folks who are trying to resolve cases, they do only that. The litigators only litigate. A lot of firms are really small, and it's sort of one guy or gal trying to really do everything. We are segmented. Everybody's getting exactly what they need when they need it. And the 443 results is not just a phone number. It really is what we are all about.
It's your mission statement.
That's
Results.
that's 100% right. Results, but not just results. Communication, because if we're getting people great results and they don't understand what's happening, they remain uncomfortable through the process. Whereas if they're getting the results and they know exactly what's happening, when and why. So it's not just results. It's 443 results and communication, but that's too long for a phone number. So we're 443 results.
Now, you handle cases in Baltimore and the state of Maryland. What about a situation like my case, and I don't want to get into the particulars of it, but I was injured in an accident out of state, but I knew you, so I reached out to you to represent me, but you can't represent me in Florida, so you are connected with lawyers around the country in case somebody gets in an accident out of state?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Stan, and I'll give you a long answer to it. We do cases all over Maryland, and the reason we're all over Maryland is because for 30 years we've been representing the Maryland State Police through the Maryland Troopers Association on all of their internal investigations, so we're really proud to do that. So we've got cases from all over Maryland. But that said, what about Florida? What about Delaware? What about Pennsylvania? We've got relationships everywhere to where we can say, hey, Craig in Florida, hey, Steve in Philly, everybody, every location. We more or less have somebody, not in all 50 states, but certainly in all of the states around here, everything on the eastern seaboard, all the major states, Texas, California. We got folks around the country.
And how much do you stay involved? You and I are friends, first and foremost, and we're competitors in fantasy baseball. Mm-hmm. But seriously, you've stayed in touch with me and communicated with me about my case, even above and beyond the call of duty. Do you do that with anybody that you refer to an out-of-state attorney? You're still sort of overseeing some things?
Absolutely, because number one, some people are getting their treatment here. So even if they're even if their case is out of state, they're getting treatment here. So they need to know the people that we know here. But also, more importantly than that, if we put our name on something, if we say, hey, we're going to help you, hey, we're going to be involved, hey, we can do something for you to drive results and communication, we're going to live up to that. Whether or not somebody else is spearheading it in a different state, we are going to live up to that. We are here
because
for you.
Because your reputation's on the line with those people.
That's
here
exactly
that live
correct.
Here.
That's
okay.
exactly correct. Yep.
Well, I can honestly say you've been really helpful on making some things happen.
I'm glad. And
not that the attorney that's handling it down in Florida with Gold Law isn't a terrific attorney, but a couple times I needed your advice, and you gave me some good advice.
Yeah, we're happy to do it, Stan.
All right. 443 results is the phone number. Website is warnkenlaw.com. What are you going to find at the website?
You're going to find everything that we do. We do a number of different things, all centered around injury, a lot of car crashes, of course, a lot of workers' compensation. That's how we got our start in the injury business.
Right.
Because my parents were both attorneys, but they didn't do injury law. My father did criminal law and represented the state police.
And your dad was a teacher at the University of Baltimore. Was he the dean of the law school?
He wasn't the dean, no. He was a 40-year-plus professor there. Full-time law professor.
And he loved teaching, didn't he?
Loved teaching. He wrote the book on Maryland criminal law, Maryland Criminal Procedure, it's called. So he did. He wrote that book, had a storied career. He was the career service office before there was an actual office placing people in jobs. So he was one of the first in the country to start an internship program where he guaranteed each law student an internship after their first year. And so he, which is a really innovative program. And it was that that program that kind of gave him a lot of credibility in the community. A lot of folks that started in that went on to be judges. So he would call them and say, "Hey, remember you were in this program? Well, I need you to take some interns." And so, and he loved UB. He loved the legal community of Baltimore. So, and there you'll find on the website kind of some little bit of history of him and pay some homage to him. But actually, the firm was started as the law offices of Bonnie L. Warnken. My mother
Your mom
was a nurse. She went to law school when she turned 40. Was in law school for 4 years, then started
Is she
this
still
firm.
with us?
She is.
Okay,
She
great,
is. Yeah,
great.
she's fully retired now because she actually went back to nursing because she loved taking care of people, didn't like the fighting as much. Me, I'm more into
You're more of a
I'm more
fighter.
into the fighting. Yeah.
All right. You're also pretty cognizant of the numbers in sports. I mean, I know you. I'm not talking about gambling, but you know sort of the odds because you've played you've done a few contests over the years.
That's right.
To drive traffic. Talk a little bit about the part that sports has played in your firm and drawing attention to you.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm a lifelong Baltimore guy. I grew up in Northeast Baltimore, moved out to Owings Mills in middle school, and always have been an Orioles and Ravens fan. And I was fascinated with some of these contests that were happening around the country. And I said, a couple of years ago, if the first one was if the Ravens win the Super Bowl, then one of my Instagram followers is going to win $100,000. That was the first one I ever did. And then I came back 2 years after that, and I said, because we didn't obviously win the Super Bowl, unfortunately.
Did you draw a lot of attention to it and get people to sign up on your Instagram?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it worked.
I've got maybe 6,000 or 7,000 followers, something like that on
Okay.
Instagram. And I think some of those original contests were kind of part of that. And then we followed it up 2 years later with, I said, I need to make a splash. I want to put a big number out there. How can I give away $1 million, right? And I said, if the Ravens win the Super Bowl and a Raven wins MVP
Of the Super Bowl.
of
the season.
of the regular season,
Okay.
then somebody wins $1 million. So I went to actually a hedge fund who was going to insure this for me.
Right.
And they said, and it was going to be any Raven at first. Who was going to win it was going to be specifically Lamar Jackson at
Okay.
first. I said, if Lamar Jackson wins the MVP. And so they quoted me a price. You want to guess how much I paid for this to insure this?
I'm guessing about $40,000.
It's a great guess. It's a little lower than that. It was $20,000.
$20,000.
Because 2 years ago we were not super. We weren't one of the highest teams at that particular
Right.
year. Didn't have the lowest odds. And so I came back to these guys and I said, you know what, I got to change this contest because I don't want to use Lamar Jackson's name. I'm
Right.
uncomfortable with that. I can use the Ravens, but if I use Lamar Jackson, that's going to, it's one thing to have the Ravens against me, another thing to have Lamar against me, right? And and I said, you got to change it to any Raven. What's that going to do to my premium? What's that going to do to my cost?
Right.
And they said absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
because
I would think
obviously
he's the guy that would win.
it's either going to be Lamar or it's
Right.
going to be nobody. And so we didn't, of course, win that year.
Right.
And that was kind of a heartbreaker year. And then it would have been
Weren't they all under John Harbaugh the last 6 or 7 years?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And people I liked Harbaugh. I was in New Orleans,
Yeah.
all those years ago. But at the same time, if Anquan Bolden and Flacco don't have that wildly hot run, I don't think that Harbaugh is the storied guy that he is.
No.
But that's
God bless him, and I wish him well in New York. I don't think they're getting a Super Bowl coach there. I think they're getting a good coach who will raise their expectations and performance, but I don't see him winning another Super Bowl.
I don't see it either.
Yeah.
But but I want to wish everybody well, and on to new things here, and I saw
right.
Jackson's presser last day or so,
Yep.
and that's it's exciting. It's a new era in Baltimore. It's for the Ravens. So
It's a breath of fresh air.
that's right. That's right.
breath
That
of
was
fresh
that
air.
was I think the quote. I like that.
Now, I know you haven't done anything.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Rick Dempsey's going to join us in just a second.
Super.
Yeah. Okay. But baseball, we'll talk about that when we finish with Rick Dempsey. Rick Dempsey's going to join us now. No facility? Correct. Okay. All right. Joining us now is former Oriole catcher and Orioles Hall of Famer, Rick Dempsey. Rick, it's your old friend, Stan the Fan, and your new friend, Byron Warnken.
I'm surprised you still know my name.
I remember Rick Dempsey's name. I'll never
Yes,
forget.
sir. Yes, sir.
Rick, I'll never forget the interview I did with you back when I was hard hitting. You were pinch hit for in a game, and you were my guest in the Hit and Run Club, and you came in,
Yeah.
and I said, Rick, you want to be a manager one day. I said, would you have pinch hit for Rick Dempsey? Do you remember that?
And what did I? I don't.
I-
I know. What did I say?
I don't
Probably
remember.
no.
I don't remember either. We're both too old for that. Hey,
Yeah. All right.
Rick, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. I know you're still doing commercials for Future Care, okay?
Yep.
And and I know you still are very friendly with my friends at the Costas Inn, and you're going to be there next Wednesday on June the 3rd at North Point Boulevard. This is the location where you eat crabs.
Yes, sir.
What time are you going to be
Yeah.
there? What time are you going to be there, Demper?
I think I'm going to be there around 7:00.
7,
Yeah.
and hang out for a couple hours?
Yes, sir. 7 to 9. Yep.
All right.
I'll be there for a couple hours, and it's always great to see a bunch of good friends always show up there.
Are you much of a crab eater, Demper?
I love them.
Yeah.
I really do. I miss, that might be one of my top 3 things that I miss the most about not being around Baltimore.
Let me ask you this, and then I know Byron's got a couple questions for you. But did you ever pick crabs with Boog Powell?
You know something? I haven't.
You've never.
I haven't.
eaten crab?
He's the best picker. There's no doubt about
no
that.
question about
Everybody
it.
raves
Yeah.
about it.
He taught my wife Jane how to pick crabs. Yep, no question about it.
No.
Byron, what do you got? What do you got for Demper?
Well, first of all, Rick, I want to say it's a pleasure to meet you. I also want to tell you, you are actually one of my earliest Oriole memories. You out there in the rain on the tarp, sliding across the tarp, is one of my earlier Oriole memories. I grew up in Northwood, not far from Old Memorial Stadium, and we could hear the roar, from our house, and so
Right.
so I was an Oriole fan from way back, and that was one of my first memories was you sliding across the tarp.
I tell you, that was so long ago, I don't even remember it.
What possessed you to do that first time? Did teammates egg you on? Had you talked about doing it?
I did, but it all started with Sparky Lyle and the New York Yankees. I'd sit out in right field, shagging fly balls during batting practice, and Sparky was always throwing the ball into the grandstands, which he got a $50 fine every time he did it. That's what they did with that back in those days. But he also said one day when it started raining, he says, I want to go out on the tarp and do a pantomime of Babe Ruth hitting his home run and slide around. I said, oh, Sparky, that's a great idea, man. People would love to see you do that. But he never did it.
Right.
So, I got traded to the Orioles, and then through the years, I started to feel pretty comfortable being in Baltimore, and with all those guys that I played with was amazing. But we were tied for second place with the Boston Red Sox on the very last day of the season. Gray skies above Fenway Park. And all of a sudden they stopped batting practice and threw the tarp out, and I started to think, oh my gosh, this is where Babe Ruth first started his major league career, was with the Boston Red Sox. So
Right.
I was thinking I might do if we get rained out, I'll do the pantomime of Babe Ruth calling his shot and run around the bases and have a good time. And it ended up happening, but it was inspired really by Sparky. Sparky wanted to do it so bad, but he never got an opportunity. And I said, this is for you, Sparky. I'm going to go out and run around and make a fool of myself. But we had good times. It was just good, clean fun, and it was a lot of fun. And, a lot of people still bring it up all the time. And the team liked it, and even Earl liked it too, because he sat out there and watched for a while. And of course I got killed later on. What an idiot you are, and blah blah blah, that sort of thing. But that never bothered me.
Rick, you were remembered mostly as an Oriole. You also won a World Series with the Dodgers, but you started your career. You were a Minnesota Twin. Who was your manager in Minnesota? Was it Billy?
Billy Martin was one of them. Yeah, I forget the first guy that managed, but Billy Martin was there.
It wasn't Sam Mealy, was it?
No. If you said his name, I could see him right now, but I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Billy Gardner?
No.
Frank Quillisi?
No.
I can't
remember. Frank was a player.
Bill Rigney?
Yeah.
Bill Rigney?
There you
these
go.
Even baseball players?
Bill Rigney. Okay.
You are so right.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know where I pulled that
Good
out.
call.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but that was a great call.
Yeah. What do you remember about Bill Rigney?
Well, he was quiet, not like Billy Martin, who was, very vocal, most of the time. He pushed people, but he was a lot of fun for me to play with because he was my kind of guy, and,
Yeah.
You give him 110% and he never forgets that, I had him as a manager when I got traded to the New York Yankees.
Yep. I figured you played for Billy.
I had a
up
lot
there.
of time with him.
Yeah. You ever go drinking with him?
No, I learned early in my relationship with him that's one thing you don't want to do. He was good. He would go out and drink and have a good time with all the players, and he would start to get on him a little bit about things that he wanted to see him do on the baseball field. And he actually got in a fight, with one of the pitchers, and he punched him and he went down. And,
that was Dave Boswell.
That's right.
Dave Boswell at Cross Keys.
At Cross Keys, I was going to say it all happened in Baltimore.
Yep.
Well, Billy was that kind of guy, he'd get in fights and everything, but, he would never hit anybody when he was on the ground already,
Right.
That was
nice
when he
of him.
would kick them.
That was nice of him. Byron, what do you got?
What was your favorite team you were ever on, Rick?
The Orioles, no doubt.
What year?
Always,
What year, Demper?
what was my favorite year?
Yeah.
Was it 83 or 79?
Well, that's the way it turned out. 79 was good also. I take the blame for us losing in 1979 against the Pirates because when they introduced us for game one, we were up to home plate, shook hands with Earl Weaver, and I looked over at Chuck Tanner and I said, Chuck, we're going to get this series over with quick. Whenever you get your guys on, just let them try to steal. So I threw out the first three guys that tried to steal, Marino and Parker and another guy named Alexander, who was a professional base runner. That's all he was. But
Yeah.
I got him, and then all of a sudden we jump up 3-1 in the series, and I thought we pretty much had it in hand. But what Chuck did was he stopped running, which gave him an extra out to work with in those innings. And as we all knew that the Pittsburgh Pirates were the best hitting team in baseball at that time. And so they somehow put it together those last 3 games, and everything went their way. I'll never forget that bases loaded line drive by Eddie Murray to right field. Parker came in for it, realized he was coming in too far, and he slipped and fell. But he threw his glove up in the air at his arm, and he caught the ball. Do you remember that?
That was off at Kent to Colby, wasn't it?
You know something? I can't remember who was pitching. All I know is that was the game right there for us, because that ball gets by him in right field, and it might have been an inside the park home run for Ed.
What did Willie Stargell hit off of Scott McGregor? He hit that 2-run homer that won the game.
You know, I think that he hit it off of Mike Flanagan, didn't he?
In game...
Mike hung in there the whole game.
No, Game 7 was McGregor versus Bibby, Jim Bibby.
Oh, okay. Well,
Rich Dower hit a solo home run to give us the lead, and then I'm pretty sure it was Scott McGregor was pitching. Flanagan had pitched on the previous game, if I'm not mistaken. Palmer was scheduled for Game 5 against Jim Rooker. Remember Jim Rooker beat us?
Yep.
That was the last game in Pittsburgh. Yep.
Anyway. I do.
I got another question for you, Rick.
That series convinced me to keep my mouth shut. Don't ever say anything again to the opposing team.
I got another question for you, Rick. Switching gears. I got an 11-year-old who is absolutely obsessed with baseball. And he told me, and I said, you know, you want to keep playing ball? He said, I love it. I decided what my dream is, Dad. I want to play Double-A for the Kansas City Royals. I said,
where did he come up with that?
This is what I said. You know Gibson. Yep. Stan knows Gibson. This kid is he's goofy and he's hilarious. But that's his dream. But I said, dude, that dream, number one, is wildly not big enough, because who dreams of Double-A?
Right.
Number two, even that would be really difficult. What advice do you have for an 11-year-old who loves baseball and wants to keep getting better?
You know what? With the way they're trying to teach baseball nowadays, I tell all the young kids, I said, you've got to learn to be a good hitter before you can be a home run hitter. Okay? Mm-hmm. So here's a few of the little things that you can do. Play catch with your friends. We used to play a game called Pepper. They took that away from everybody because they didn't like what it did to the field when the players were playing, you know, on the warning track, you know. So you hit the ball to right field, you hit the ball up the middle, you hit the ball you get 3 guys, and you hit the ball, you know, to left field. And you practice hitting those things. It's just a little tap with the ball. You know, when you're playing Pepper, you're playing from about 20, 30 feet away at the most, you know, and you just you swing down on the ball and you try to hit the ball to each one of the guys you're playing with. Well, you know, when they took that little fundamental away, and you couldn't do it on the field anymore, I think it had an effect on a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And especially me, because, you know, but when I first started professional baseball, I was also in the military. I was in the Air National Guard, and I took all my baseballs and stuff to when I went to, you know, that first month or two, you always spend in basic training. And after training was over with, I got outside with the guys, and I taught them how to play Pepper. And I think that's really what made me a really good hitter coming in. What got me called up out of A-ball. You know, when I was playing A-ball for Minnesota. I didn't play my first year and a half, and then I went in my second part, and I said, please, you know, send me someplace. I don't care where you send me so I can play. So I went to the NYP League, and I got a chance to play for the summer league, and I was MVP of the summer league. And then came home. Frank Sands, a catcher for Minnesota, got his eye put out. They called me to instructional league, and I hit 600. So, I mean, it was I was on quite a roll there for a while. Went back to the team that I had finally gotten sent down from in A-ball and hit 365 and got called to the big leagues at 19 years old, and that's when I played for Billy Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Demper, would you advise a young kid at 10, 11, 12 to experiment with switch hitting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm left-handed at everything that I've ever done. I'm left-eyed and I'm left-footed. I should have been a left-hand hitter myself, but I didn't do left-hand hitting until I got to in Earl Weaver's last year or second to last year, and he kept saying, "Jesus Christ, I want to have a left-handed catcher that can hit the ball out of the ballpark." And so I said, "I can do that." He goes, "Oh, don't give me that shit." So about the next spring, I came back and I had been hitting in my batting cage, switch hitting. And my third swing, I hit a home run down the right field line in that stadium in Miami, Miami Stadium.
Yep.
And he goes, "Jesus, that was all right." Opening day against the Kansas City Royals, they had their best pitcher on the mound. I even forget what his name is. But I lined a shot to right center field.
Was it Busby? Was it Steve Busby?
Oh, no. It wasn't Busby, though. No.
Okay.
I can't remember.
All right.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
So I stayed in that role. Earl wouldn't start me in some ball games, and then he would bring me in to pinch hit late in the game. And, I said, "Earl," I says, I'm a starting catcher here. I realized Joe's got to get some playing time. Yeah. And, but, this thing that you're doing, this experiment is not working with me. So he set me up to pinch hit, and I walked up and stood in the right-handed batter's box, and he got so mad at me for that. He says, "Okay, this experiment is over with," and I never hit left-handed again.
All right, but you would advise a kid to try it?
I definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You get used to doing that, and you add value to yourself as a player, and it sure makes life a lot easier when you're always hitting on the side of the plate where the right-hander's coming to you and the left-hander's coming to you,
Demper, Griffin Bass has a question for you.
Rick, I wanted to ask you about, I'm sure you're not living and dying with the club like we are every day right now, but I did want to ask you about the catching duo, because that's one part of the team that's been pretty consistent all season long. What have you been seeing from Basayo and Adley this season, on both defensively and offensively?
Well, Basayo is a pretty good hitter, and he's big and strong. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark, I think. And Adley Rushman, who still is my favorite player, even though he probably thinks I don't like him, but I do like him a lot, And they're both, hitting about the same thing, the same amount of home runs and stuff. But I still like Adley Rushman right now, but Basayo is trying to steal my heart. He's a pretty darn good hitter. I went through a bad start, early on, but now it seems like he's back on track again. And Adley Rushman, I've always really appreciated him because not only is he an excellent hitter on both sides of the plate, he handles a pitching staff very well. And I watch those little kind of things. He talks to them, he encourages them, and I think a lot of catchers don't do that. And so by now, with the exception of all of the injuries that the Orioles have and the pitching staffs and the shoulder problems and everything, I thought a long time ago they should have called me in at least once to address the ball club during spring training and telling them how to condition themselves for a season. I played 27 years in professional baseball, and I was on the disabled list only one time where it really mattered, when Don Gullett hit me and broke my hand. I played another inning, but my finger kept falling out, sticking up every time the ball hit the pocket.
Demper, you're one of only a handful of people that played in 4 decades, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
60s,
That's true.
70s, 80s, and 90s. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
As a catcher.
But the key now, Stan, is to stay off the disabled list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard, but analytics. Everybody wants to be as strong as they possibly can because you got 4 or 5 guys hitting under 200 in most every major league lineup.
Yeah.
And that's just that doesn't work for me. I know that the analytics of the game, they don't care about batting average. They just want to see you hit home runs and everything. But, you can still there's a rule, okay? You could still win a lot of ball games with offense. That's it. But you win championships with pitching and defense. And that's the thing I think the Orioles, if everybody's going to do the same thing, then the Orioles have as much chance as any team in baseball. They've got good young players. Gunnar Henderson, I know he's not hitting well this year, but
Yeah.
he'll come back on again because he's just a talented guy. Alonso is still going to be a good factor
Yep.
for this ball club in the long run. Basayo and Rushman and Cowser and I don't want him to forget Mountcastle because he's capable of doing a whole lot of stuff. He's a big, powerful guy, can hit what you need. But you still need people on base,
Yeah.
Make the hits count and get those guys up there with batting average. They forgot that 300, or close to 300 means you're going to be on base a lot. You're going to drive in a lot of runs. I mean, Eddie Murray did pretty good at it for a long time. Cal Ripken did pretty good at it. We had a lot of great players that were good average, 275 and up. We had a lot of really good players, but we played outstanding defense. And that is what really helped the pitching staff get us to the finish line.
Demper, one last thing. I want to remind everybody you're going to be at the Costas Inn this coming Wednesday from about 7 to 9 at North Point Boulevard. So make your plans now to stop in for dinner, get an autograph, get a picture with Rick Dempsey out there. But my last question for you, one of the Orioles that you caught for a number of years is kind of a forgotten guy around here, not entirely, but it didn't end great for Dennis Martinez in Baltimore. But he pulled his life together, and he was incredible with the Expos. Was he as talented a pitcher as you ever caught in an Oriole uniform?
I'm telling you the truth right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That was the most talented pitcher, young player that came to the big leagues to pitch for any team was Dennis Martinez. He had every pitch. Great fastball, great curveball, great slider, great changeup. But he wanted to show everybody every single pitch. He didn't just want to get the guy out.
Right.
He's trying to strike everybody out, Dennis just went to a little low point with the Orioles, where, he was getting some bad influence by, some other people.
Yep.
And he kind of lost control of himself. But Dennis is a great guy. He was the most amazing young pitcher I ever caught.
Yep.
And I caught a long time, and I caught some great pitchers. Dennis was the best, no doubt about it.
All right. Hey, Demper, it's great to catch up with you.
Yeah.
I will talk to you. I will
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon. Okay. And
All right, you guys, thank you very much.
And Byron's a big fan.
Thanks for being on here.
Oh, Byron, thank you. Okay.
All
it was
right.
great.
All
yeah,
right.
let me get with your little guy at some time. I'll talk him into doing some good fundamental things. We'll get him going.
That's
in the
what we need.
direction.
That's
All
what
right.
we need. Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
Demper. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All
All
right.
right. Talk to you later.
We're going to take a timeout. It's the Friday Baseball Show. Stan the Fan, Byron Warnken of Warnken Law, 443 Results. We'll be right back with Victor Figueroa after these commercial words.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Well, spring and summer have sprung up in Baltimore. That means more than ever it's time to visit one of the two great locations in Baltimore for the Costas Inn. The new location at Timonian Fairgrounds next to the OTB has the same great food, ambiance, and hospitality as the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard in the heart of Dundalk and Sparrows Point. Both are open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, but remember, it's only the original location for steamed crabs. Take this number down, 410-477-1975 to reserve your slice of Maryland heaven. Make sure you check availability, size, and price point for your next feast. The Costas Inn, always the right choice for dining.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in a car or truck crash, you probably know this is stressful. Medical bills, the insurance company giving you the runaround, you got to get your car fixed. You don't just need a lawyer, you need results. At Warnken LLC, we represent the injured across Maryland. Whether it's a car or truck crash case, medical malpractice, or any other serious personal injury, we fight for maximum compensation for you and maximum ease for you. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Warnken LLC has been voted best personal injury law firm in Maryland for a reason. For us, 443 Results isn't just a phone number, it's our mission. Get the advocate that you need. Call us today, 443 Results, or visit us online, warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Hi, everyone. There's nothing I love more than hearing Stan the Fan and Griffin talk baseball. Here they are.
We're coming back. Are we back?
We are.
We are. We're live with the Friday Baseball Show. I'm Stan the Fan.
We're professionals here.
Glenn Clark back on Monday through Thursday. I'm doing the Friday thing called the Friday Baseball Show with Griffin Bass and Stan the Fan. And, of course, with us today is my good friend and supporter of the show and all things press box. That's my friend Byron Warnken of WarnkenLaw.com. 443 Results, Warnken Injury Law. Byron, fun talking to Rick Dempsey?
Absolutely. It was great. I'm surprised that I revealed my younger son's ultimate dream in life, which is to be a Kansas City Monarch. That's a
Monarch or a Kansas City Royal?
No. He's topping out at AA. That's what he wants. He wants the Kansas City Monarchs.
Okay.
So, we're going to work with him on that. But it's also a relatively recent dream in the last maybe 3 days.
Okay.
So his dreams
change.
They change often at this 11-year-old year. Yeah.
Do any of his dreams have anything to do with fantasy baseball anymore?
No, he realized how hard it is. I brought him in to be the in-season manager, and he wasn't with that. He loves the draft.
He
loves the draft.
Loves the free food.
That's right. Messing with old guys.
Which isn't really free.
Right. Yeah.
All right. We are back. Is Victor with us? All right. Joining us now is, I guess we could call him an old friend, Griffin, Victor Figueroa of the Frederick Keys. The Keys are back. And for Victor Figueroa, the month of May has been pretty terrific. He is the Orioles Organizational Player of the Month. And joining us now from Frederick is Victor Figueroa. Victor, Stan the Fan, along with Byron Warnken. How are you?
Doing good, Stan. How you doing?
Good. I remember the last time we had you on last year, shortly after the trade. I had asked you whether you had eaten Maryland crabs. Have you gotten around to eating steamed crabs in Maryland yet?
Actually, I have. I have with a couple of teammates. I forgot where we had them, but they were like, you know what? You're a part of the org now. You got to try something new. This is something for you to try. And once I had some, I was like, wow, this is definitely a new experience that I can get used to.
All right. What did you think? Did somebody teach you how to pick the crabs, how to open them up and everything, or you just sort of watched them and just did what they did?
It was actually pretty funny. I was sitting at the table and I was looking at my dish and I was like, I think I'm gonna wait to see how these guys do it so I can just follow in the footsteps. And then after I saw them eating it the way they were, I just followed and didn't try to look like I fit in.
All right. You know about the part you can't eat inside, the lungs.
Yeah.
Did they tell you about that? Okay.
Yeah, they did. They said, hey, just watch out for those pieces right there.
Right.
I said, all right, thank you.
You get that deathly ill from that if you eat those. Byron, you got a question
Is
for
it
Victor?
is it deathly ill? Because
you can get really bad gastrointestinal.
okay. Now I feel bad because I think there have been previous people in my history that we have told.
I don't think
to
it'll
eat.
kill you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever killed anybody.
I'll tell you
with
what.
the
I'll
lungs,
tell you
but-
what it is. It's if you re-steam crabs. That's what. Like if you have some left over, and then you steam them again. That's what can cause you, like near death experience.
Okay. Yeah. I've never been a re-steamer anyway, so
Okay.
that's all
All
right.
right.
That's all right. Hey, Victor, thanks for being here with us.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Really good. Really good. So I was just asking Rick Dempsey, Orioles legend, about what the best things for a young player to do.
He's got an 11-year-old son
who's obsessed with baseball. Victor, you have had a sort of wild rise through your professional journey. Tell us about that, about how, when were you obsessed with baseball? What was your journey like?
So going through my baseball experience, coming out of high school, I only had one scholarship going into my senior year of high school, and unfortunately throughout that year there was a coaching change within that school, and in doing so to that, I only had one other option, and that was to go to HBCU University in Mississippi. And really that experience alone taught me, like, being away from home, just knowing how committed I am to the sport and how much I'm willing to sacrifice to be going all the way. If I'm putting all the efforts and if I'm putting all the energy into this one goal that I have, which is to make it to the major leagues, I just wanted to stick it through. And that mindset is what carried me throughout my entire career, from going from school to school, from getting signed out of junior college, and then from going through the Padres organization as a later draft pick, going into what everyone is now calling me a prospect. It's just been a great experience going through a newer organization where I know that I can fit in with the big boys, that I can hit the way they hit, and I can just produce the same way.
Yeah. Were there people that really turned the experience for you? I mean, were there certain coaches, certain mentors that really stick out to you?
It's a good question. Yeah.
For me, it was really my biggest mentor, and just doing it all throughout my life has been my mother, because she's been consistently within my career and my life. And my dad, he played professional baseball as well with the Dodgers organization, so she's already lived through the experience of the minor leagues. So whenever I have any questions and whenever I need to go back to my roots, I just call my mom, and she's always been there for me to give me the greatest advice.
But Victor, you started in a historically black college?
Yes, I went to Mississippi Valley State for my
Wow.
freshman year of college.
Wow. And was that a junior college?
No, it was a Divisional I college in the SWAC.
Okay. That's wild. That's wild. Had this trade to the Orioles organization, I'm sure it was a stunner when it happened. It was a big trade. 5 of your fellow Padres came along with you to the Orioles, I believe. Tell us what it's been like. How are you finding your footing with the Oriole organization?
It was definitely I want to say a trial, like kind of like a trial and error when I first got into the org. You know, it was a new environment, new organization, new teammates, new locations. Everything was different. So I was really just trying to find ways to settle in and taking the mindset of what it is as of how we play Oriole baseball and how they see me as a prospect. So I transferred all the knowledge and all the advice that they were giving me into the off season, so that when I was coming into this newer season, which we are in now, I could be ready and I can just produce the way they see fit.
Who's your manager down at Frederick?
His name's Colin Woody.
Okay.
And that's what I was going to ask about, Victor. You know, who have you been working with most closely with Frederick so far this season? Obviously, we got a 21 game on base streak in April, which was a big part of obviously that organizational player of the month honors. So what coaches have been the best for you down there?
Everyone in our staff has been really helpful. Our hitting coach, Jake Ratz, has been teaching us a lot about just going through a good process and just having a good mindset going into the box. Just really striving to build on every day and just don't really focus much on the numbers, just making sure that you go through the reports, and whenever we have a good process, we're always able to produce good outcomes. So in doing so, you know, just knowing that however well you're playing, just there's always more to build off of and just always ways to get better, because the end goal is always to win games, but as a player, the end goal is always to make it to the next level. So it's more of a long way route, which is probably the visuals that help us rise to that next level.
And it's not only getting on base for you, but obviously the power is back, and you know there's probably a few factors that it could be. Once you got to Aberdeen last year, you didn't have any home runs, but you've got 11 now this season. What's been the key to unlocking your power again?
It's been really just staying consistent with the way I swing the bat. You know, going back into the power profile and being okay with knowing that if I want to swing for more pop and knowing that I can hit the ball out to all fields, just really making solid contact with the ball and then letting the results speak for themselves, because as all I need to do, and I got into the mindset of if I make solid contact, the ball will fly. So just sticking to that mindset has been really helpful for me.
Yeah, following up on that, Victor, how do you go from you got these two competing things, or maybe they're the same thing, which is, one, you're playing this game that you love, that you've played since a kid, that your father played, and then at the same time, you've got this dream of the next level, right? How do you balance those two things out, and how do you not let like a slump sort of kill that mindset? What are some of the things that you do to keep yourself positive mentally and moving forward towards continuing to play that game you love and continuing to make it to the next level?
Yeah, it's always about staying grounded and staying grateful for where you are. You know, baseball is a long game. It's a long season. It's a long career that you can make out of it. But just knowing that every day when you wake up, just being grateful that you're getting put in the position that you get to live the dream that a lot of people wish could be in your position. So in doing so, staying grounded and just knowing that you're always as good as you are, and you can always be in a better place, but just obviously just remembering always how blessed you are just to be put in that position.
Yeah.
Victor, I wanted to ask you, whenever we have a young player on, I want to ask you about a couple of your teammates, because the Frederick Keys seemed to be a pretty loaded team. One of those players recently was called up, promoted to Double-A, Chesapeake Bay Sox, and that's the left-handed pitcher they drafted last year, Joseph Durza. Could you talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, Durwa, he's definitely a character. He's a guy that never gets flustered or frustrated and always keeps a good attitude when he's on the field, even off the field too. He's really a guy that you want to have in your ball club, knowing that he can always bring the energy, and whenever he's on the mound, he always just wants to dominate and produce for his team. If it's by doing what he's been doing by balling out and collecting Ks, to even if he gives up a hit, he always has a positive mindset to get that next out, which is probably what gave him the most success in his career so far.
How about a couple of the position players? Nate George, Ike Irish, and Wihawa Loy.
Yeah, like you said, this is a loaded ball club that's here to win games, and we're doing just that. So everybody's having a good mindset, and everybody's just trying to compete. It's always healthy competition between everybody because we just elevate to each other's standards, and in doing so, we all succeed together.
What do you think of those couple players?
I think they're special, man. I feel like everybody in this ball club is special, and everybody has a chance to make a name for themselves. And just being a part of this ball club has shown me that everybody has talent, and that everybody wants to work hard, and that just makes me want to work harder.
How patient are you? Do you think you will get promoted this year to Double-A? Would that be a goal for you? Or you're more focused on day-to-day just doing your job?
I want to say a little bit of both because, like, the goal is always the same. Get to that next level, make a career out of yourself, and just knowing that if you have goals in your mind, that's something that can motivate you to push forward. But also realizing that every day is a new challenge and every day is a new game. Just trying to, if you're not in Double-A, just do the best that you can in High A. And then once you're in Double-A, try to do the best you are there. So it's a little bit of both.
I got one more for you, Victor, but before that, I guess we should remind everyone the Keys are on the road this weekend, but they will be back home next week. 6 games at home next week. They got WAG Wednesday on Wednesday the 3rd. They got Mental Health Awareness Night on Thursday, Star Wars Night next Saturday, so that should be fun. Oh, and then, of course, because it's 6/7, it's going to be Meme Day on June 7th next Sunday. So that should probably be a fun one for the kids. Right. Victor, I did want to ask about how you're feeling defensively. I know that you last season you played a little bit of right field, but this season it's been mostly first base. Have they asked you at all to play any outfield, or has it just been focusing on where you're at defensively at first so far this season?
Yeah. It's been mostly focusing on where they want to put me on the field. Like everyone knows, we have a loaded roster where all of our outfielders can produce, and for me, it's more of finding the best place where Woody believes that I should be playing, and if that's first base, I'm gonna play to the best of my abilities. If the opportunity comes where there is opportunity for myself to play in the outfield, I'll do that to the best of my abilities as well. But you've seen this team, man. Everybody's a baller here, so I think that we're trending in the right direction as we are right now.
All right, I'm hoping to get out in the next couple weeks to see a game out there in Frederick. I really appreciate it, Victor. I just want to tell you, you're in the state of Maryland now. If you are injured in a car accident and you need a lawyer, Byron Warnken of Warnken Law is one of the best in the state of Maryland. Okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for the advice.
I appreciate that, Stan, but Victor, don't call me. Yeah, stay healthy. Stay healthy, buddy.
Stay healthy.
That's the goal.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we really do appreciate your coming on again, Victor. Continued success, and congratulations on being Organizational Player of the Month.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Right.
God bless.
All right. Victor Figueroa. Good dude. Good dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna take our second time out. When we get back, we're going to take a look at this week in the rest of baseball, and then we'll check out of here for the weekend. Orioles tonight, tomorrow at 4:05, and Sunday at 1:35 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Orioles lost a heartbreaker last night, 2-1 to the Jays. We'll be back to talk a little bit about that and what's ahead for the Birds.
Before we do go, you'll be back with
Tuesday.
This
Tuesday.
I wanted to make sure we
Tuesday at 5 o'clock, right before the Orioles take on the Red Sox. At 6:35, it'll be Ross Grimsley, Stan the Fan, and Luke Jackson.
That's a big get.
Love to get Luke Jackson.
Press Box, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Griffin. This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Well, spring and summer have sprung up in Baltimore. That means more than ever it's time to visit one of the two great locations in Baltimore for the Costas Inn. The new location at Timonian Fairgrounds next to the OTB has the same great food, ambiance, and hospitality as the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard in the heart of Dundalk and Sparrows Point. Both are open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, but remember, it's only the original location for steamed crabs. Take this number down, 410-477-1975 to reserve your slice of Maryland heaven. Make sure you check availability, size, and price point for your next feast. The Costas Inn, always the right choice for dining.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bill Ordine dives in on how different Preakness will be temporarily at Laurel Park and then long-term once it returns to Pimlico. Also inside, Luke Jackson learns more about what Trey Hendrickson will bring to the Ravens. And Karuga Koinange looks at how Samuel Basayo is influencing the Orioles' international signing efforts. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Hi, my name's Colton Cowser, outfitter for the Baltimore Orioles, and you're listening to Griffin Bass, Stan the Fan Charles on the Baseball Show. Let's keep it moving along.
All right, there's Colton Cowser, our friend Colton Cowser.
Had to pull a lot of favors for that one.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Byron Warnken here from Warnken Law. Byron, I kiddingly, said to Victor Figueroa, if he needs a lawyer now that he's in the state of Maryland, he should call you if he's ever injured in an accident. Have you ever had a professional athlete? I doubt you're going to be able to share a name with us, but has that ever occurred?
A couple of years ago, I didn't speak to him, but I spoke to his agent. An agent of a Raven called me and said that his guy had just been in a car crash and what was our advice. And we talked all through it, and ultimately it wasn't a particularly serious crash, but there was a minor injury, and ultimately I told him to keep his treatment through the team and not expose himself to the process that we were going to need to go through, where we would have to provide his medical records to adjusters who always keep it confidential, but you just never know in that kind of setting with a professional career on the line like that.
And what would potentially happen if player A got his medical records exposed? It could impact his earnings down the road.
I would just hate to see a crash that maybe we're going to get compensation of $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, affect his ability to get signed either by the Ravens or by another team. And ultimately, it's a name that everybody knows, and he's no longer a Raven. But he was quite a good guy for years with the Ravens. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Because it's the state of Maryland, does it ever cross your mind to dabble into advertising in the minor leagues?
It's interesting. I mean, certainly, like we've got a lot of clients out in Frederick County. We've got a little less so, but we've got clients down in the Bowie area. We've got clients on the shore. But ultimately, I actually almost did a signage deal at Camden Yards. And it's funny to see a guy like Mike Slocum on there. I mean, he's out of Alabama. It's not really,
I didn't know that.
No,
Okay.
he's not a local guy.
Okay.
But ultimately, I didn't do the signage. What I really wanted to do was, I was going to sponsor the foul balls signs. And I was going to say, if you get hit here, there's nothing you can do about it. Check the back of your ticket. But if you get hit anywhere else, 4-4-3 results. But they didn't approve that deal. So, but that was back in the Angelos era. So,
all right. And Peter wanted to keep that money for himself. Orioles play. They lost last night, a real heartbreaker. Byron, 2-1 to the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. They're listed as undecided who's going to start for Toronto.
I believe the plan is Adam Mako is going to be an opener. Or Mako, and then Austin Voth is their bulk guy.
Their bulk guy, former Oriole.
Orioles legend,
yeah, and Seattle. But tomorrow, Trey Yasevich at 4:05 goes against Brandon Young. And then Sunday, we are throwing Kyle Bradish against a still undecided pitcher for the Blue Jays on Sunday.
Not confirmed. Roster Resource thinks it's going to be Spencer Miles. So
Spencer Miles.
Obviously, they have a lot going on. Toronto does with Dylan Cease landing on the IL last Sunday.
They've had a number of injuries.
Yeah.
They've got Bieber, Barrios, and Cease now. Barrios is going to be, I think, going to miss the whole year now.
I believe you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. It wasn't even. It was like a shoulder.
I think he's getting shoulder surgery. I'm not sure.
I understand how injuries are such a more significant part of the game now than they were 10 or 20 years ago, but it frustrates me that you can't see the upcoming starters so often.
It's crazy. Yeah. I'll tell you something that's crazy. We've played fantasy baseball. I've played since 1985. Last year was the first year I've ever played in a league that allowed an IL spot. Okay.
Yep.
This year we increased it to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that's going to be enough. 2 is going to be enough. I have 6 pitchers on the IL right now. And where that comes into play is you bid a significant amount of money of your $260. Like I bid like $9 for Cody Ponce. Then I just made a trade where I traded Sammy Basayo to get a couple pitchers. And now those pitchers are on the IL. Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 6 pitchers.
Pitchers in particular, it seems like the whole game now is sort of catching that flash in the pan for a couple of years while you're healthy. And then inevitably there's going to be elbow problems. There's going to be Tommy John, multiple Tommy Johns. I mean, it's just it's unfortunate. I wish that there was a little more longevity there.
Yeah. I mean, I spent $34 on Hunter Brown, and he pitched one game or 2 games with me. He's been out since like April 2nd or something like that.
Yeah, must
He's
just
due back June 15th, about June 15th. He's on a rehab.
When you look at the Astros' history there of recent years, it seems like a lot of their rotation.
McCullers is always hurt. Yeah. Yep. Javier is always hurt.
Yeah. Javier was awesome until he needed that time.
Fromber trying to hurt other players. Yeah.
Yeah. Fromber trying to hurt his teammates and other players. It's time for.
Before we get to that, we should remind everyone, today's show brought to you by countysports.zone Stan, which, of course, you can head over there and get your latest updates on all of the spring championships. Of course, I'm just going to plug Carroll County. We know that the girls, Manchester Valley girls lacrosse won another state title, the 2A state title for girls lacrosse, and then the Liberty Lions baseball team won a 1A state title earlier this week as well. But you, of course, already knew that, Stan, because you were always every day checking
all over it.
Countysports.zone.
They cover Frederick County as well.
Yes, of course. Frederick County. Every county and every school in the state of Maryland, all powered by buyatoyota.com.
All right. Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, tough loss for McDonough a week ago in the lacrosse finals. Yeah. Lost to Calvert Hall. Lost to Calvert Hall, the boys. The girls lost to Maryville.
Are you an Eagle?
My sons are Eagles. Okay. I was a one-time Eagle, but then I graduated from Owings Mills High School, which was also the Eagles.
Oh, so, so you are an Eagle.
I am an Eagle.
Yeah. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle. That's right. Who brings us this week in the rest of baseball, Griffin?
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
This week,
In the rest of
baseball.
All right, Stan, welcome back for another edition of This Week in the Rest of Baseball, and another busy week of baseball. It was, Stan. I guess the biggest news. We'll start with the biggest news, which was on Wednesday, I think, or maybe was it yesterday? Whenever they announced that the owners have submitted a proposal for the new
Players Association did it on Wednesday. The Major League Baseball responded yesterday
with their salary floor / cap.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So there's quite a divergence there.
Yeah. What did the players? I mean, obviously the players don't want anything to change, right? Like they just want to see guys continue to get
money.
Yeah, they just want to see guys continue to get $700 million contracts.
Yeah.
The owners came out and proposed a salary floor and a salary ceiling, which was all within about 100 or less than $100 million. The hard salary cap would be about $245 million, and the payroll floor would be $171 million. And under that, if the way current teams are built, there's 12 teams that would be required to raise their payroll, including the Orioles, but barely. The Orioles are at like 160 something right now, so they would they're the closest to that floor of those 12 teams that are under, and then there are 8 teams that would need to cut their payroll. Of course, the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers. Amongst others that would need to cut to get under 245. So okay. I mean, it doesn't seem. It just seems eerie. I wasn't around in 1994, so I don't know what it was like. But the last time, a salary cap was proposed, baseball promptly ended in the summer.
You have any thoughts on this issue, Byron?
Yeah, I do. I remember 1994, and there was one owner who stood with the players, who stood with the workers, if you will.
Peter Angelos.
And that was Peter Angelos.
Was it really?
Yeah, because he was a union guy, and he supported organized labor, as we do, as I do personally, as our firm does. And so I stand to some degree with the players.
Yeah.
But these aren't our average workaday guys, So
they're not taking the lunch bucket to work, pail to work.
That's right.
With a hard hat.
That's right. Yeah.
You're saying Juan Soto doesn't deserve that $750 million contract, and
it's tough. I would love to see, as a fan, a cap to some degree, a cap and a floor. Yeah. I think it just makes sense for the game. I mean, it's. I think you want to have some competitive balance, and I think if you look at what the NFL has done, the guys are still making a ton of money, and there's a lot more competitive balance. And as a fan, you can expect that your team might be competitive on any given year, whereas that's a little tougher in MLB.
Yeah, I mean the salary cap in the NFL, to go back to that comparison, it does raise every year about because their salary cap is over $300 million now for each NFL team, and to Byron's point, like even in Cleveland, when August rolls around, they're like, hey, we got a chance to win the Super Bowl. I don't think anyone in Pittsburgh is. Obviously Pittsburgh's playing well this year, but no one in Colorado, no one in Pittsburgh. Every single
by
February.
The way, is now in last place in their division.
Yeah, there you go.
And they've been playing well.
They almost swept the Cubs, though. I mean, the Cubs have been playing. That's another
came back
topic.
And split that series.
Oh, the Cubs won 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2-2.
So the Cubs ended their losing streak, but I mean, it does seem like if you have every team operating within the same kind of $80 million window there, like that seems
It's very unrealistic. Very unrealistic.
So? Yeah.
I think, and believe me, I don't do this full time now. Don't follow it the way I did 10, 15, 20 years ago. To me, you need some creativity and a true partnership between owners and players. There are new revenue streams that the powers that be are always finding, new revenues. To me, that's where the deal could be struck that gets the players more money. In other words, have a floor, have a cap, but then let the players participate in some of the revenues that baseball creates through other things, and have partnership, have some type of meaningful partnership where the two sides work together to create and fund those revenues.
I think that's possible, but I think you get into a dangerous situation where you have, and then I'll put my season ticket holder hat on.
Yep.
And I don't. It's nice to be able to blame management and ownership when you've got an issue with being a season ticket holder. I don't want to turn that around and be like, oh, this is on your contract, Basayo. I don't want to be that guy. So I think that there needs to be some level of distinction there. And I'm
talking about revenues that they now generate through different types of media.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of revenue that
some of the
these
television
teams share.
deals and that kind of thing.
The television deals, the
gambling,
the gambling revenues have got to be enormous that are coming into teams, and so some of that could be funneled to the players, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's a tricky problem. Not
Yeah,
an
it
easy
is
problem.
a tricky problem, and it's one of the reasons that the 2027 season is no question. I won't say it's in doubt,
sure,
but it's in danger of a serious work stoppage.
Yep.
What else?
We got there were some fun things going around baseball, or some weird things. Bryce Harper just shared kind of one of the trends, I guess, on like TikTok and social media is
hung
just
over in
my
that
morning.
picture.
You show your morning routine, your daily routine kind of
Looks
thing.
hung over,
so
doesn't
people are people can't see this yet. You're spoiling it, Stan. You're spoiling it. I haven't shared it. I haven't shared it to everyone.
I'm seeing it. Okay.
But they do their kind of daily routine videos, and Bryce Harper, of course, is a famous athlete, so everyone's interested in what his routine would be. So he starts with a very normal thing, brushing your teeth, right?
Yeah.
How could you make that weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Bryce Harper is just gonna go ahead and show everyone how he
Kind of
describe it.
He's going to scrape his gums. I have a gum
Yeah,
scraper.
he wets the toothbrush. I think that's what he just did, and grabs the toothpaste.
Well, he uses like an old school toothbrush. I use an Oral B. Oh, he puts the toothpaste in his mouth.
It's an advanced move. I appreciate that. Actually,
is it more efficient? I guess I don't know. I don't know what the.
He likes taste. He's addicted to toothpaste. I think. Okay.
Well, it looked like, but then he just went to brush. So that was making the rounds this week.
Okay.
That was one of the on top of obviously are we gonna have a strike or not in baseball? Then Bryce Harper. How does Bryce Harper brush
I hope
his teeth?
Dave
Those were the top
Dombrowski
two,
is
top
happy
two stories.
with that. Yeah.
Would you consider brushing your teeth that way now, Stan, or no? No. Byron, no.
I'm in.
You're in.
I'm
okay.
I'm absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce Harper's a world champion.
I have an old.
Or no, he's not. No, he's not.
I have
a
a
world
whole
champion.
routine. I use a tongue scraper, which is very effective for bad breath.
We should do a daily routine for Stan. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do a video like that.
Yeah.
And then I use an Oral B toothbrush, but I also what's it called, the water pick.
Yeah, the
pick.
pick.
Water
Yeah.
pick.
I got
and
the
then
pick.
I floss.
Wow,
That's after brushing my teeth.
I thought you were
Impressive,
supposed
Stan.
to floss before, Stan. I think that's what they say.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can do that.
Little tidbit for you.
I can do that.
One other tidbit I'll give you. If you brush with the left hand, I
Right.
mean, if you're right-handed and
I'm right-handed.
and you brush with the left hand, you'll live longer because it opens up neurons in your brain. I'm not
So
kidding.
I should start. I'm left-handed.
Do
so
little
I should
things.
Start,
You should start with the right hand. Yeah, exactly.
I definitely would feel like.
Okay.
Definitely feel weird. I guess I should try it though.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I start getting cavities because I don't know how to brush my teeth properly with my right hand. So yeah, that happened this week. I thought there was something else I was going to say. I guess Bryce Harper. We did Bryce Harper. Shohei Ohtani. He's very good at baseball. Continues to be Stan. 6 no-hit in it. He led off the game on
With a
Wednesday.
home run,
led
right?
off the game with the home run, and then proceeded to fire 6 no-hit innings.
That's pretty good
for the Dodgers. It is pretty good. The sixth pitcher to hit a home run and not allow a hit through 6 innings in a game in the last 50 years. The other 5, of course.
To do what again?
Not allow a hit over his first 6 innings.
Okay,
pitching,
and hit a home run?
And hit a home run in the same game.
Dwight Gooden?
No Doc on here.
Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver in 1977. Well done, Stan. Well
How about
done.
Milt Pappas?
Not Milt Pappas. You had Seaver in 77, and then 97 would be the next time this happened. Mark Clark with
the Cardinals.
Sure. I don't know who Mark Clark
Okay.
is. But then we have a couple in here. Carlos Zambrano in June of
Zambrano,
2006. Matt Cain with the Giants in 2008. And then before Ohtani did it, the guy to homer and throw 6 no-hit innings, Jake Arrieta with the Cubs in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Ohtani just continues to do Ohtani things.
Here's a question I have for you guys: is Ohtani the best baseball player of all time?
I have such a little, I guess. I mean, I've only been alive for 25 years.
I'd have to wait. He's probably the greatest player in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd really have to do a deep dive. I mean, Babe Ruth was an amazing pitcher.
Sure.
Yeah, before he hit the 714 home runs. But when you factor in the running, what did he steal, 50 bases?
Shohei,
Shohei?
Yeah. 50,
I mean, that's
started
pretty,
the first man ever for 50-50 club play.
That's pretty amazing. So I would be comfortable saying he's the greatest player, all-around player. I mean, Judge is an amazing force of nature.
Yeah,
but he's in the conversation for greatest of all time.
I would think he is in the conversation. Yeah.
Whenever I have the chance to watch him, I want to drop everything and try to, like, when the Dodgers were here, I know he wasn't scheduled to pitch against the Orioles.
Like if you had a baby and you had him in your arms and he came on the screen, you would drop.
Yeah, I would, and it's easy for me to say that. Obviously, I don't have the foresight of what it's like to have a child, but yeah, for sure. Because he wasn't scheduled to pitch against the Orioles when the Dodgers were here last September, and I was going to the game Friday already, and for whatever reason, it's weird for me to not check my phone often, but I wasn't checking my phone, and I didn't know that like an hour before they were like, Shohei's going to start this game. So I was like, this is the biggest treat of my life. Mm-hmm. Shohei's going to start against the Orioles, and I was already going to the game, so that was really fun to see Shohei pitch.
We're playing them in Los Angeles in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think we play them midweek, right?
No, Friday through Sunday, June 19th through the 21st.
You're sure that's not the Angels? Because we play the Angels.
We play the Angels right after that, Monday through Wednesday.
Okay, so it's where do we go first on that trip?
Seattle.
So
a long
Dodgers,
West Coast road trip. Yeah.
Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of no-hit innings, there was a combined no-hitter this week.
Yeah.
As the Astros blanked did they? Yeah. They did not allow a hit to the Texas Rangers. A combined no-hitter that was closed out by a limber Santa, who was making his major league debut, and he is the second pitcher.
And Amai pitched the first.
Yeah,
5 or 6.
Yeah, six. Yeah.
Okay.
And
did not hit a home run though.
No, he did not nearly.
He's nowhere in the class.
They didn't give him a chance. Really cool thing about a limber. Is it a limber or a limber Santa?
Santa. Yeah.
He was wearing, obviously his last name is Santa. He was wearing a Santa Claus belt on his pants.
Wow,
yeah.
Cool.
So hopefully he keeps that up because I like that little tidbit. Second player to pitch in a no hitter in his MLB debut. You have to go all the way back to, you were probably there, Stan, 1892 with the Cincinnati Reds.
I was not there.
You weren't there at that one? Bumpus Jones.
I was born in 1900.
Oh, okay. So 8 years before. 8 years before. He threw a complete no-hitter all by himself. Bumpus Jones, of course, was the last guy.
That's a look at this week in the rest of baseball, and that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Baseball Show. For 10 more days or 2 weeks more, the future of the Preakness. Our cover story in June will feature a profile on Orioles announcer Kevin Brown.
Ooh,
all right.
Nice.
Written by Dave LaMonaco. That will be out coming up. Byron, I can't thank you enough for your support of the show.
Thank you, guys.
And the power rankings and all that you do for us. And we'll have you on again if you had a good time today.
Absolutely. Loved it.
Right.
Appreciate you guys.
Griffin Bass, thank you, as always. Glenn Clark back Monday through Thursday.
We're going to be live at the at Ridley
the
for the PLL today at 3 o'clock. So tune back in.
All right. You want Byron to show up?
I don't know. You want what's your lacrosse knowledge?
Can't. Yeah.
Deep,
enough.
right?
Not
all right.
enough.
Yeah. Byron will be there.
Not enough. Not enough. I like that answer. Kind of like his knowledge of fantasy baseball. Not
enough.
Little dig there. Little dig in the knife in the back. That's going to do it for today. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Wait a minute. It's Friday? It's time for Stan the Fan, Chief Grand Poobah Man, and the Friday Baseball Show. Griffin Bass helps bring more